What do it is? It's your boy LonnyKabal. Get it! And we back for another video. The suburban / middle class black child, Negro child, child of color, however you want to put it, is the most looked past, is the most needing of help, guidance, the most unprivileged. I'm gonna get right into it. Black culture, our culture, is a culture of praising negative, praising ignorance, praising low living, praising victimhood, but it's also a strong one. I feel as though black culture in America, American black culture, like I said, it's manufactured. It's not really ours. It was kind of already made and given to us, and we've just been living how it was given. Struggle is a lot to do with it, but you know, just coming from slavery, it's so much history that I'm learning that is not true nowadays, bro. It's so much, bro. I don't even know what to think. Like, just Native Americans already being here in the Underground Railroad, really being a railroad, and Harriet Tubman the conductor. Just a lot. But from what we know so far, common knowledge is that we've been slaves and struggling for a long time. And I do agree with that. I tested that. Our pain and struggle has been going on. So we've never had a chance to have a real running start of, we're still shaking off shackles and mental issues from slavery, still to this day. So it's kind of hard, but just our culture really praises the most worst shit. And if it is good shit, it always has to be validated by somebody from another race, majority white. This is how the suburban black kid is at a disadvantage and misguided and kind of left astray. Most of us, when we think of middle class, both parents, suburban, you think of somebody's privileged, coming home, two-parent household. If not two-parent household, both parents are actively in the life of that child, good living, not having to worry about lights being cut off, food or anything, just a happy-go-lucky life just sailing through. And I think a lot of people have middle class and high class, middle class and upper class confused. That story, I think, is upper class. That's the rich class. It's not middle class. But anyway, I digress. So in like white cultures and different cultures, it's already acceptable because that is the normal. Being from a two-parent household and living, not having to fight every day and violence and having crackheads and drugs and shit around you is not normal. It's not normal to anybody but us, Negroes. So to them, it's regular living. Actually, middle class is kind of the low class for whites because they don't even claim what they call white trash. White trash is our hood class to them. They don't even really claim white trash. Middle class is lower class to them, you know. So back to our culture. Those are already accepted. Whatever is regular living. They make TV shows, all that about white middle class culture. For us, it's different. See, in our culture, when we see middle class, we think that's uppity, but lower class and middle class of black people are right here. I don't even think there's a real middle class. It's just some people that can afford to live in a better neighborhood, you know, but they're still struggling, sometimes in-house, and other struggles as the lower class. And a lot of these middle class black folks, the parents, a lot of these middle class blacks today are first generation middle class. A lot of their parents are from the hood, so they're already from lower class trying to give them a better life. Let me get into it. I know I can ramble a lot. I know I just like to bring detail, especially to the listener and to the viewer, of what I'm getting to. I like to bring a little background. And this is why the suburban middle class kid is at a disadvantage. It's because his culture, his or her culture, as they know it, black American culture, is headquarters, it's based, it thrives from lower class. Let me explain. Our culture, I've already said, but our culture, from the rappers to the actors. First of all, our main culture, we praise celebrities. We're so into entertainment. Entertainment is our thing. Entertainment. Not so much business, not so much politics, but entertainment to a point where we believe in entertainers as our leaders. Reality. So, I want to say before I get into just how the breakdown is, a lot of women that are in the middle class don't really have this problem, because no matter if you're a lower class, high class, or middle class woman, nobody really checks you or challenges. Sometimes if you talk out of line, but for the most part, if you're middle class, black woman, you're not really going through any struggle because you don't have nothing to prove. You're a woman. And that is not to say you're weaker or anything. No, but women usually have an easier way up. She doesn't have to really prove anything to anybody. A woman doesn't, in general. But a middle class woman, if she's pretty and whatever, she'll get just as much love as the hood one or the upper class one. You know, because, you know, fellas, they trying to smash or trying to make that their girl or whatever. So they're not really thinking about no background and all that. They just want to make sure that if he's a real man, he's making sure your quality of past beauty and everything. But for the most part, beauty, body, cool. Let's talk about to the young man. And this can go for some middle class girls. Here it is. This kid, in his own culture, he's already looked at weaker because he has both of his parents. Every time he turns on the TV and somebody that looks like him is up, they always say the same story about them struggling. I'm from this hood. I grew up like this. It was rough, and they get praised for it. Now, that's cool that you get praised for your struggle. I mean, if you go through any struggle, you shouldn't really get praised for it. You should be praising yourself. But I understand why, you know what I'm saying, they see that as respect. But to just subliminally glorify it is where you fuck up at. You see a lot of middle class, especially young men, having to prove themselves. You know, they from a good home or whatever, and they still go to the hood. They're from a good home and they still try to sell drugs. They're from a good home and they still try to portray a street nigga image, a street image. And it's because they're trying to get that feel from their own culture. They're trying to link in. Because that whole Huxtables, Fresh Prince of Bel-air, that day is gone on TV. You can talk about the past, the reruns, that shit is gone. So this young black male, or this young black child, is searching for himself. And when he goes to the suburbs, all the rest of Hispanics, well, the rest of his friends is cool, but they can't really relate to his struggle. They can't relate to his culture. He wants to relate to his culture. But his culture, and the majority won't accept him because they look at him as uppity. You rich ass nigga. You two-parent home. Like they say this as it's bad. They say it as it makes you weaker. They say it as it makes you soft. That you got two parents at home. That you have money, you don't have to live in a bad neighborhood. They look at it as like, you're not one of them. You're not tough enough to be them. Your own people. So he's trying to fit in with these people. Meanwhile, he's trying to find himself. So them people over there already know he's not like that. So they try to clown him or take advantage of him or whatever. So now he's lost. Probably the most baddest girl in his class or whatever, you know. Or the girls around, they want something more risky. They want something more. And it's not just black women. Every woman wants something a little risky. But it's the type of risk, you know, because in our culture, they be wanting niggas to take. They want him to be, you know, just disrespectful, posing with guns, just hot shit. They like hot boys. And not hot boys that's in doing crime or them niggas. Hot boys in something to throw just to be a crash dummy. You know, and so he doesn't feel like himself. He fits with them other cultures, but at the same time, he doesn't really fit with them because a lot of stuff they do he doesn't like it. And he sees himself having to force himself to like it because his own people won't accept him because he isn't hood enough. He isn't ignorant enough. He's not violent enough. He's not willing to risk everything he has for something stupid. So you got niggas like T.I. Well, who made T.I. a civil rights leader? What is your credentials to be a civil rights leader? Soon somebody, like if a middle class guy tried to go and be a civil rights leader, they would try to pull up his background. You ain't never been through nothing. How you know that man never been through nothing? Because he come from a certain neighborhood. How you know what his household's like? How you know what his mother and father had to go through every day? Manufactured. White people come in, they get on their best behavior. They hold the door. Nope. Fuck all that Donald Trump shit. Look, black people talk that shit, but when they come around, they hold the door, they laugh at all the jokes. They just have a more tense way about themselves. Like, all that hood shit went out the fucking door when this white guy come in. But when a suburban black come in, probably do the same thing. He ready to go to war with him. He ready to tear him down. Why can't that brother get the same respect as you give that white man? Because you give it up. As far as programs and like, these artists go to these schools, and it's cool, you know, but these artists go to these, like these big artists go to these public ratchet schools, and they deserve to have a good show too and have people pop up. But what about the middle school kid, the middle class blacks who like the same thing, who go to these schools and they don't really get to see, you know, their favorite artists? You know, they like Young Thug and all of them, but since they ain't from the hood, they gotta go all the way to the hood to see them, or they don't get to pop up to school. They don't come around their neighborhood like, oh, Mike Epps around here. They don't get to have that. They still your fans too. See, but that's all in the culture. The hood. Gotta get out that hood mind state, people. If you're black and you don't have some type of hood or ignorance about yourself or just, you know, just, if you don't see things that way, you're not accepting. These are your own people. But your people will sit up there and break themselves and give respect to somebody who don't look like them. You know? But the suburban black child is the most needing of attention, is the most needing of self-worth, because when he looks on TV, all the people that look like him don't act like him. They act like niggas. Again, I am a nigga, but they act like ignorant niggas. That's what it is right now. It's your boy LonnyKabal. Get it! Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell on the side, and I'm out.